EDCs from Branchburg, New Jersey. Manipal and Renuka ready.
Welcome here, have your seats. What a function so far, right? I'm sure all of you got your money's worth. So good to see everyone, guys. So good to see. And it was listening to all the speakers since morning. And every time, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business, when somebody is speaking from the stage, if you have the willingness to learn, you always pick up something. And today was no different. And all the speakers did such a phenomenal job. And I'll tell you guys, we would definitely, I believe this has been one of the best functions. What we call this weekend as summer conference, and many years back we used to call as family reunion. Some of you must be thinking what this business has to do with family. Folks, in many ways, we are like family. We are like family because, in fact, it just so happens that some of us meet each other, some of us spend so much time, in many cases, much more time than we spend with the family. And if you really look at the relationships that we have with each other, look at the respect that we have with each other, look at the commonality, the bond that we formed with each other, that is something amazing, guys. I mean, this is a very, very special business. And if you're here for the first time, if you're brand new, or if you're maybe in the business for a couple of months, some of you might kind of think, not exactly sure what we're talking about. But folks, the more you come around, the more you associate yourself with the leaders in this organization, you will definitely get to know who you are and what we stand for. And in my opinion, guys, this business is much more than a business for sure. And what we have and who we have become is completely because of what we have learned through the BWW system. And many years back, when we came to our first function, which was Dream Night in Washington, D.C., and that was many, many years back. We had absolutely no idea where we were going, why we were coming. And thank my sponsors, Sudhir and Sulbha. They didn't tell us a whole lot other than, hey, let's, what are you doing this weekend, so and so, let's go to DC, let's have some good time. And that was a promotion. That's about it. So we showed up and we listened to all the speakers. And obviously that particular weekend, we heard many, many, many speakers that weekend. And the best speaker or the most impactful person that weekend was for me and Renuka, it was Bill and Peggy Britt at that time. And since then, folks, we never looked back. We never looked back. And we probably might not have grown the same pace all the time. But as far as the business is concerned, as far as our belief is concerned, as far as our focus is concerned, it has always been there. And just to give a little bit background about who we are, we both are engineers by profession. I have got bachelor's in civil engineering degree. Renuka has a bachelor's in electronics engineering degree. We both did our master's in computer science. And I'm sure there are a bunch of IT people here, engineers. I know how you feel. We feel the same way. We used to feel the same way, not anymore. But folks, like anybody else, we heard nothing different. Grow up, get a good education, get a good job. We followed the same pattern. But along the way, luckily for us, the person who had shown me this business was Sudhir. Sudhir is the one who showed this opportunity. And life really changed for better since then. And, as I said, like anybody else, we, graduated, got ourselves good jobs. We both had very good incomes. And, probably at that time, we probably would be the last people to kind of sign up in a business like this. Because we just a few months before that, 6 months before that or so, we finished our graduate program, and then we both had full-time jobs. Our incomes went up many, many times. We are not looking to expand any source of income. We are not looking to create any source of at the time. But folks, something happened when we came to the open meeting. Something happened, and certain times you cannot exactly pinpoint what that is. But folks, as Sugit was talking about, faith. And thank God that, we decided to sign up in the business. Thank God that we came around. and we met some good people, like Praveen and Madhu Cheda. And we, in fact, in the initial days of our business, we used to go to Praveen and Madhu's home. In the basement, we used to go to the PACE meetings, and there we understood. We used to go to their phone meetings, and we would do QIs, follow-ups, and we were having a lot of fun building the business. And then eventually, a couple of weeks or so, we got a chance to meet Kanti and Lata Gala, and since the beginning days, for me and Renuka, for whatever reason, that we were attracted to Kanti and Lata's work ethic, their passion, their belief. And once we saw them, that this couple, who've been in the business in this country for much more than us, they had more education than us, and they were working this business with tremendous passion. And you know what? When we saw Kanti and Lata putting their time and effort in driving the miles, in talking to people, and showing the plans, and we saw them, putting that effort into the business. And folks, through all the relationships, that's how our belief in the business started getting together, and then that's how we started putting our effort in the business. And as we kept coming in the business, and we understood that it's just not about PVBV. And yes, products are important, and they have got tremendous history. And whatever they need to do from the corporation point of view, they do that. They do a good job of that. But at the same time, manufacturing the products, delivering the products, it's not the entire equation. Okay, that is a part of the equation. Okay, the other side of the equation, in my opinion, is powerful, about dealing with people, about leadership, about dealing with situations and resolving situations, and how to resolve the conflicts, and how to uplift people, and how to serve people. And these are some of the things that we learned along the way. And the better you learn these things, the faster you learn, that's when the business starts growing in a very, very big way, guys. So tonight we are going to talk about what's called a servant leadership. There are different kinds of leadership, but in our business, in this business, we truly believe this. You got to develop the servant mentality, the servant leadership mentality. I'm going to give some tips about what we have learned through the leadership. And as you could see, this is all the leaders are big servers in this organization. I'm sure your upline is doing the same thing for you. Okay, I'm sure your upline, already started driving miles with you and lending the CDs and doing the demonstrations, spending so much time with you. That's how it starts. When we signed up in the business many years back, that's how that was the kind of help that our upline gave at that time, and they continue to serve us in many, many ways. Okay, so. I said initially when we signed up in the business, Renuka and I had no business background, but eventually we learned. And initial days of our business, Renuka was not even positive about the business. She was thinking, why would a professional like us should do this business? We have good education, good jobs, masters, making good money. Why one more thing? Folks, it doesn't matter. Most of the time. It may not. In our business, the kind of business that we have right now, husband and wife may not get motivated at the same time. We were no different. If you're in your case, if you're husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, if you are motivated equally in the initial stages, that's great for you. There are some exception maybe, but most of the time, one of them is more excited than the other person. In my case, it was me who was more excited, but later on, in the initial days, she was not sure. But later on, as we kept building the business, eventually she understood the long-term aspect of this business, and she started coming more and more, and took the leadership role. And today, I'll tell you what, the business that we have, is amazing, because Renuka has a lot to do with that. And by the way, we've been married for more than 26 years now, and we have two wonderful boys. My oldest son Kedar, who just finished his bachelor's, and my younger one is finished his 11th. Is tomorrow. This next week is finishing his junior year in high school, and we are fired up about our future. We are fired up about our life. So I want you to welcome my wife Renuka here.
How's everyone doing? When we heard about servant leadership, growing up in India, you hear the word servant, and most of the time the image that comes into our mind is the people who are working in our homes, the maids and the chauffeurs and the people who clean our home, and that's the word that you associate with being a servant. But when we came into this business, I repeatedly heard the statement, anyone who wants to be a leader must first learn how to serve. And going back to the servant thing from India, I remember when my kids were young, every year they've been to India since they were born. And when Keshav was very young, he came back home after an India trip and he says, Grandma and Grandpa have so-and-so who does the cooking, so-and-so who does cleaning the house, so-and-so who does the laundry, and so-and-so who chauffeurs them around. Who do we have here? Who are you going to get? I said, Mom, I'm the one you're stuck with for your cooking, for your cleaning, for your driving, for your tutoring, and everything else. Okay? So, you learn to serve. You just learn to serve. For moms, some of those things come naturally. But you know what? You'd never talk about, for me, it almost felt like bad manners to talk about the things that we have done in our business to our people in our group, because we always considered them as our family. And I would never talk to people about, today I cooked for my son. In the same way, I never felt I should talk about, this is what I did for our group. I felt it was always considered bad manners. But then as we kept building the business, we realized that some people, it's not very intuitive for them to learn and pick up certain things, so it has to be talked about. So even though, excuse me for sharing some of the things, but that is my intention. Some of the things we do along the way was, observe. We had great examples like Manipal was talking about with Kanti and Latagala and Praveen and Madhu Cheda. They did so many little things for us that we observed and learned. With Kanti and Latagala, just driving the miles, we were so many levels in depth for them, at least 6 or 7 people in depth. But they still took out time to spend with us. There were many times they would loan us products or CDs, or, they just said, have it. Called us over to their home for food and, different things, driving the miles with us. When we were going together to build a long distance group, they never said, we take your car. They always offered to drive in their car. Those little things they did for us set the right example. With Praveen and Madhu Cheda, intuitively they knew, especially Manipal's hot button, which was food. Always talking upon food, serving them hot meals after a PACE meeting was done, just being that loving person in our lives. Those were little things. What has that got to do with the business, you may ask? But those were the things that kept us in. Those were the things that kept us in the business. So as a new person getting started in this business, observe the person who's helping you in this business, to build this business, and learn to duplicate whatever they're doing. Don't be just an observer, but be a participant going along. Participate in everything, whether it's a grand opening. If you go to an open meeting, offer them to say, is there anything I can do? Is there anything I can do to help to make this a better event? How I take care of my children or my parents is exactly how my children are going to take care of us and their children. And that is true in this business too. So you set the right example. Giving out samples, guys, giving out catalogs, just spending time with people, listening to them. I heard the statement by Vince Lombardi saying that I don't necessarily have to like my players or associates, but as the leader, I must love them. Love is loyalty, love is teamwork, love respects the dignity of the individual. This is the strength of my organization. Everybody coming into your organization will be very different. With some people, you will connect right away. With some others, it may take you a while. It's all based on how you grew up and how they grew up, what your life experiences have been like. But at PACE meeting, treat everybody the same. I was always told this example that when guests come to your home, and you're walking around with a tray with glasses full of water, you will not offer it just to one person because you like them more than the other person. You will treat everybody with the same respect. And that's exactly how you treat the people in your group. I take this example of my own children. They are two very different kids. When Kedar came into high school, both Manipal and I decided, he wakes up very late naturally, and we said, okay, let's give him that 20 minutes extra time to sleep. Instead of going on the school bus, let's take the time to drop him in school. And Kedar would wake up at 7:15 when school starts at 7:30. And on a good day, it would take us 15 to 20 minutes to drive to school. I don't know how, but he would be in the car by 7:15, 7:20, and he would be yelling at us like a typical teenager saying, "You're not driving fast enough." That was Kedar. And for 4 years, for 3 years, we put up with that until he got his license. And then we thought, okay, and for me, getting up early in the morning was not an easy thing. But you know what? That is the way we served our kids. It was not about the inconvenience for us, but we had to do it because we loved them more than our inconvenience. But Keshav comes along now. Keshav is an early person. If somebody tells him to be there at 7:30, he'll be there by 7 o'clock. We've been to so many games, 2-3 hours ahead of time, wondering what happened, why is nobody else there? And here we are trying to do the same thing to him. So I'm thinking I have to be in the car at 7:15, and I wake up at 7 o'clock, and he's already sitting in the car at 7 o'clock. So you know what? You can never win at this. But you know what? Appreciate the differences and try to meet them at their needs. The moment you start comparing, you're not bringing out their best. Listening is another skill of a servant leader. Listen at what is being said and at what is not being said as well. Empathize with them. Many people these days tell me that, we have to work at least 80 plus hours. It's no longer like the time when you used to work an IT job, where you worked a 40-hour job. There were weeks that I did work 80, not every week. But you know what? I will empathize with you, but I will not sympathize. I will listen to you. Today I understand that the 40-hour work week is a myth. But if you want to make a difference in your life by building this business, you as an adult have to figure it out. I will encourage you. I will try to find you ways of doing it. We found great leaders in our cross line, Girish and Purnima Desai, brand new diamonds in qualification. I used to wonder, how can a doctor like him, not just an ordinary doctor working in a hospital with a practice, but owning a hospital as well, coming to a business meeting like this, taking charge of the security and everything, and serving unconditionally, running an open meeting in New York. Where does he have the time for it? And encouraging all the cross lines, and edifying them. Where does he get the time or the energy to do all that? We just learned those things from our cross line. And what a great addition they will be to the diamond team. Teamwork. It's not, I somehow don't like the words of upline or downline. It's like, just say we are team members or associates. Because there's nobody better than the other. We are constantly learning from each other. Helping them reach their goals. This is something very important. Versus you moving on to your different pin levels. The moment you start focusing on others and their goals, you become a servant leader. Value the diversity in your organization. Serve each other, husband and wife. Again, servant leadership is not just for people in the organization, in the business. It goes back home as well. What are you doing for each other? And just do little things, guys. You don't have to talk about it. You just do it. You don't have to say, "Hey, honey, I ironed your shirt today. Did you thank me for it?" That's not the purpose. Just do it, and with unconditional love. There's no such a thing as something being constant. I've heard this. Nature itself shows to us, that we need constant improvement, because nature shows that either you are alive and growing or you are dying or decaying. So embrace change and accept change and think about how you can make changes in your business. This is how you will grow your business. But you know what? For me, the biggest server I found in my life is Manipal. And I've heard this statement many times by many other leaders, is Manipal is the biggest server, to the point that many times when we spoke on stage, when Kumar spoke on stage, that Manipal is equal to server. That is the name. His nickname was server. That he almost expected him to come up on stage with a tray, serving like in a restaurant. But you know what? That's exactly what he will do. He's constantly serving people, looking at what they are good at, and finding those little things that he can learn from them. And he has set that kind of an example for me to follow. And here's my biggest server and leader that I want to share with you.
Servant leadership is a blend and balance between leader and servant. Remember, guys, you don't lose leadership qualities when you're becoming a servant leader. Okay? And as Renuka mentioned, folks, whatever, this probably is the easiest topic for me to talk, because as Renuka mentioned, I believe in this, in the servant leadership, and also I had seen my applying, in practicing all the time. So for me, it was definitely, the easiest thing, really, guys, because the kind of business that we have, the nature of our business is about serving. Now, we are not your bosses. Nobody's your boss. We believe in earning the respect, earning the trust by serving you, by leading you by the right example. Okay, and a couple of pointers I want to do. The servant leadership is the one who values diverse opinions. A servant leader values everyone's contributions and regularly seeks out opinions. Okay, again, guys, I can take the way we make decisions in the BWW system. Okay, when Bill Britt was here for many years back, he was the one who would take most of the decisions. In the last 10 years or so, it was his vision to, he realized that he was not going to live forever, and he formed this committee called MOC, which consists of Paul Miller, Kanti Gala, Angela Naroni, and Kumar Shivaramakrishnan, and Raj Shah. Okay, these are and what I'm trying to say, guys, is when these people make decisions, okay, they understand that BWW organization consists of many different kinds of people, and they take input from other dimensions, and that is sense of security that we have, and they really serve us, all of us. That's called, has valuing, diverse opinions, because in our business, we have all kinds of people. We have people from different countries, different educational levels, different religions, and this is for everyone. Okay, so I hope you feel at home here, because we always felt at home. Okay, and servant leadership is somebody who cultivates and cultures of trust. The trust that has to be formed. The trust has to be there. Without trust, it's difficult to build a business. Okay. Servant leaders develop other leaders. Okay, its replication of factor is very important. Teaching others to lead, providing opportunities for growth, and demonstrating by example. Not only leading, but instead giving up power and deputing others to lead. Okay, as you could see, guys, most of us, it's not that we want to be the leaders all the time. Okay, all we want to do is we want to set the right example for you, and we would like you to take charge. And obviously, if you're brand new or if you're coming slowly but surely, it doesn't mean that we expect you to take the leadership of speaking and that kind of stuff, but at different levels. If you're, eventually once you become core, maybe take the ownership of a for a phone meeting, and then maybe take ownership of a PACE meeting, and then maybe take ownership of hosting an open meeting and things like that, a BBS, things like that. Okay, so we want to make sure that you take the responsibility. We don't force upon you, to do this, to do that. Okay? Kanti Gala had never forced anything on us, anything on me. Okay? It was us who showed the enthusiasm of coming early, staying late, and always, it was not like, it's not a job here. People will assign this responsibilities, all that stuff. As long as you're willing to serve, opportunities do come, and then that's how you shine. That's how you take the responsibility, and that's how you become a leader. Okay, so it's that's how leaders emerge. And then in our business, we serve people by helping with issues. When people join our business, when people commit to this business, when people come around, when we see people make commitment to the organization, to their future, okay, we become friends with them, and eventually, the trust is formed, the respect is there, and obviously, they believe in us, in our experience, and there's so many times, guys, as an upline to you, as senior leaders, whatever you want to call us, we get involved in helping people resolve situations. What happens is we want you to succeed as a whole, not as a part. Okay? We want you to succeed in every aspect. We want to succeed. We want to be a good parent, good mom, good dad. We want to make sure that you raise good children. We want to make sure that as society you become a better people. We want to make sure that life issues like we were, and so many cases, guys, so many cases we did. It's not the big thing that we did, but in so many cases, luckily for us, we gained, as we kept building the business, we gained the wisdom and the experience of dealing with some situations, like helping people how to get out of debt, and helping people would make some random decisions that would have impacted their life in a very, very bad way. There's so many. That's what I'm saying, guys. In this business, servant leadership is something that we really in many, not only us. If you really take any big leader, I had seen Kumar and Anjali spending time with so many leaders, helping them understanding about issues. I had seen Kanti and Lata hundreds of times, and I had seen Kanti and Lata on many occasions driving miles to meet so and so because they were kind of going through a situation. And that's how the leadership is all about, guys. This is called as true serving mentality, serving leadership, guys. We help people increase their self-images. We help people increase their belief levels, and we help people increasing their relationships. Servant leadership is about encouragement. The hallmark of a servant leader is encouragement. And a true servant leader says, let's go do it, not you go do it. A lot of times people say, you go, like bosses. Bosses say,